Ever wonder what really makes you, well, you? Is it your sense of humor? The way you smile? So much of that is written in a biological code, this incredible instruction manual passed down through generations. Today, we're going to crack open that code and explore the amazing story of heredity. Think about it for a second. It's the ultimate family mystery, right? You might have your mom's eyes or your grandpa's nose, but you are a complete one-of-a-kind. There's nobody else like you on the planet. So how does that even work? How does nature manage to create both family resemblance and total complete uniqueness in every single one of us? Okay, so let's dive into this head first. I want you to think of all your family's traits as one giant fascinating puzzle. Every piece is a different characteristic, and by the end of this, I promise you'll know exactly how to read the story that puzzle tells. Now, this might just look like a simple family tree, but to a geneticist, oh, this is a treasure map. It's called a pedigree chart, and it's a powerful tool for tracking a specific trait through a family's history. But to unlock the story that's hidden in all these squares and circles, we first have to learn the language it's written in. So to solve that family puzzle, we've got to zoom in, like way in. We need to go from the big picture of the family tree right down to the molecular level and get comfortable with the basic vocabulary of our own biology. All right, here are the 4 key terms we're going to need. First, you have a gene. Think of it as a basic instruction, like the gene for eye color. Then you have alleles. Those are the different versions of that instruction, so blue eyes or brown eyes. Your genotype is the specific pair of alleles you actually have. And the phenotype? That's the trait we can actually see. So you can think of it like this. The genotype is the recipe in the cookbook, and the phenotype is the cake that comes out of the oven. This whole idea of some traits showing up over others was famously figured out by Gregor Mendel and his pea plants. Super interesting stuff. He crossed a plant that made round seeds with one that made wrinkled seeds. And what happened? All the new baby plants had round seeds. Every single one. Why? Because the round allele is dominant. The wrinkled one is still there, part of the genotype, but it's just hanging out in the background, totally silent, while the dominant one gets all the attention in the phenotype. So, we have this incredible genetic code. But think about this. Your body, which started as just a single cell, somehow had to make trillions of perfect copies of that code to grow and repair itself. For a job that big, you're going to need a pretty amazing cellular copy machine. And that copy machine has a name: mitosis. Its one and only job is to create perfect, identical clones of a cell. Seriously, every time you heal from a paper cut or just grow a little bit, you've got mitosis to thank for making sure every single new cell has the exact same genetic blueprint as the one before it. Mitosis is basically a highly choreographed 4-step dance. First up is prophase, where the DNA packs itself up into these tight little chromosomes. Then, in metaphase, they all line up perfectly right down the middle. For anaphase, they get pulled apart to opposite sides of the cell. And finally, in telophase, 2 new cells start to form around the separated chromosomes. It's this precise, elegant system that ensures a perfect copy every single time. But wait a minute, if mitosis only makes perfect clones, that doesn't explain why you aren't an identical twin of your brother or sister. To create the uniqueness needed for the next generation, we need a completely different process, one that knows how to shuffle the genetic deck. And that's the crucial question, isn't it? Mitosis is all about growth and repair, making clones. But for reproduction, you can't just pass on a perfect copy of yourself. Your body needs to create these special cells that can combine with someone else's to make a brand new, totally unique individual. And that incredible process, that's called meiosis. Okay, let's put them side by side so it's super clear. Mitosis has one goal: make identical copies for your body. It goes through 1 division and makes 2 identical cells. Meiosis, totally different mission: create genetic variety for the next generation. It goes through 2 full rounds of division to produce 4 unique sex cells, or gametes, and each one has only half the normal amount of genetic info. The real magic, the secret sauce of variety, happens in that first round, meiosis I. Your pairs of chromosomes, the one you got from your mom and the one from your dad, they find each other and line up. And then they do something absolutely amazing called crossing over. They literally reach out, grab onto each other, and swap pieces of DNA. It's like taking 2 different decks of cards, cutting them in half, and swapping the bottom halves. It creates brand new combinations of genes that have never existed before. After that incredible genetic shuffle in the first round, meiosis II is a little more straightforward. It's actually a lot like mitosis. The duplicated chromosome strands, the sister chromatids, just get pulled apart. But because of that crossing over we just talked about, the final result is anything but identical. So, what's the end product of all that pairing up, shuffling, and splitting? One single starting cell becomes four. Four completely unique cells, each one carrying a different mix-and-match version of your parents' genes. This right here is the engine of diversity. It's what ensures every child is a totally new creation. Okay, so we've cracked the code. We've shuffled the genetic deck. Now, let's bring it all the way back to where we started and see how this knowledge actually lets us read our family's genetic story. Remember this chart? It's not just a bunch of random symbols anymore, is it? We now have the tools to analyze it and figure out what's going on. Let's focus on those shaded-in individuals, the ones who are expressing a specific trait. In this case, we'll say it's a recessive one. All right, let's play detective. We know that for a recessive trait to actually show up, you need 2 copies of that recessive allele. So we can go ahead and label that shaded-in child little a, little a. Now, what about the parents? They aren't shaded, so we know they don't have 2 recessive alleles, but they produced a child who does. That means they must each have 1 dominant and 1 recessive allele. They're carriers, with a genotype of big A, little a. See? Just like that, the puzzle starts to solve itself. And you know, this is so much more than just a fun puzzle. Understanding our genetic code is absolutely crucial. It helps us predict and fight inherited diseases, it helps us grow better crops to feed the planet, and it's the foundation for revolutionary new medicines and biotechnologies. This is a language that literally shapes every single aspect of our world. So the next time you look in the mirror, just remember the incredible microscopic journey of information that led to you. From genes and alleles, through the precision of mitosis and the creative shuffling of meiosis, it all came together to write a unique story in your DNA. So, what parts of your family's story do you carry?